Like you rightly said, challenging, but at the same time fulfilling. It's apparent that this eighth assembly started on a rather shaky note. There was controversy and a lot of tussle on the leadership, elections, and but the amazing thing about it, and I must give the kudos to all my colleagues, is that when Speaker Dogara emerged and the Deputy Speaker emerged, we quickly moved beyond the rancors of the politicking, and they came up with the principal officers. That was sort of reconciliatory, and everybody went ahead to sit down to the business of legislation. And one of the first things we did as a house is the legislative agenda, which was a very robust debate. And the Committee on the Legislative Agenda came up and they brought their suggestions to the floor of the House, and it was robustly debated. Every member that had an opinion was given the opportunity to contribute. So at the end of the day, we adopted the legislative agenda, which is like a blueprint of what we want to achieve in 4 years. And the ownership was broad. And I think that is the secret of the milestone we have after a year. From the Speaker's report, today we have passed 85 bills and considered close to 400. And we have also heard about 400 plus almost 500 motions. And that is huge. And from what was said, it is unprecedented. It has never happened in any assembly, since the return to democracy. So I think, putting ourselves in the proper stead for the job has helped us in achieving this milestone.
Okay, sir. The second question, talking about the scorecards. Last year there was transition of power from the ruling party to the change party. What would you say is the difference between the 8th assembly and the previous assembly thus far?
Principally, I think I would say clearly that the 8th assembly came in an era of change. And of course, again, in an era where the economic situation of the country is really at its lowest ebb. And we came faced with a lot of, I would say, in quotes, assault from public opinion on what the remuneration and allowances of the legislator should be and what it is. And we reacted quickly by cutting on our budgets and our remunerations and our allowances. And that was, in my own opinion, being reactive to the concern of the public. And everybody realized that Nigeria was at a stage where we all had to sit up and take the business of legislation and oversight and proper representation of the people very seriously. So I would say the change government, which is the government of the APC under the leadership of President Buhari, and the situation we found ourselves as a nation, have turned to be, how will I say, facilitators for a very vibrant and robust 8th assembly that is committed to delivering the dividends of democracy to the common man.
Okay, so in the journey so far and the achievements by this 8th parliament, the speaker, there's this new e-parliamentary system that is being introduced. Some honorables are not computer, they're not very good with computer, and also because it's not an open system where people watching live from the half of the houses would see physically. Would you say that the e-system would be a transparent and more acceptable system, by the public?
I think the e-system is more of the e-voting, more than e-presence. Okay. You understand? I think what the leadership of the National Assembly is trying to do is to ensure that beyond using the nay and the yea attitude of voting, they want to adopt electronic voting, and that is the e-voting. And from what the speaker has said, what it means is that you cannot hide in the crowd with your voice. Whatever you believe in, you're going to put your, as they say, put your money where your mouth is. You understand? So if you believe your voting pattern is on record, whatever you believe in, you have buttons on your seat. And when it is time to vote, you vote. Right now on the seats we have some buttons that says yes, no are there, but they're not functioning. So I don't know, it might be a total overhaul of the system, but what e-voting would be essentially is you have an opportunity to say yes or no to a vote rather than the voice vote. And it will also infer that means the public can access how you voted and what you supported and what you did not support. It's also, the other implication is that if you are an absentee legislator, it will also expose you that you are never present when critical decisions are being made. I think that is the next level that the National Assembly wants.
Those final questions, so I don't take so much of your time.
Yeah.
Also, the e-voting. Some other school of thought, would argue that the e-voting may make some, may hide the voices of some active, speakers, some active people some active members, because most times when they want to present or they want to maybe make their submission, on a particular motion, they speak their mind and they say things they want, but making it passive, like yes or no, it's kind of, monotonous in their way of response. Wouldn't it limit their expression or their thoughts the way
No, not in any way.
Express themselves? Not
in any way. Remember that when, for instance, you are in the process of lawmaking, when bills come for second reading, they are debated. The debate is opened by the promoter of the bill. Then, of course, those who want to speak in favor of the bill and those who want to speak against the bill will have their time. So all the process will be done. You can register your second opinion, you can go against a bill, So it doesn't block out participatory debate. You understand? And even if you have motions, if they are debatable motions, in our rules we don't debate infrastructural motions, for instance. We just pass it over to the relevant committee. But if the motion is not an infrastructural motion and in the decision of the speaker it says it's debatable, we allow people to debate for and against the motion. So all the robustness of debates and engagements and all the lobbying for support and all the vibrancy of trying to get people on your side, will still be done.
Pardon my extra question. How would you describe the relationship between the office of the speaker and, its members?
I would say that we have a speaker that is warming up to members, and the office of the speaker is very accessible. Anybody as a member who wants to see the speaker can always walk up to the speaker, share your thoughts, share your opinions, register your displeasures if there are any. I want to say, in fairness to him, he runs an open door policy. I don't think I've had any member say that, I went to the office of the speaker, I couldn't see him. I don't think that happens. In fact, sometimes he's, I always say, ambushed at some, moments that maybe he's just walking to his office, members just ambush him. But that is what it takes, to be a people speaker. So I think all that is good for the stability of the house and to maintaining the rapport between the speaker and his colleagues. So I think he has done fairly well in that direction.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Amuda-Kaninike Abubakar. I represent Ilorin East, Ilorin South Federal Constituency. I'm from Kwara State.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.